Hello and welcome to the Billionaire Journey Podcast. My name is Shola Matthew. First of all, I want you to stop whatever you're doing and clap for yourself. It's very important. Like, you need to celebrate yourself for making it to the end of the year. For me, I just want to thank God, because I'm a Christian, so I just want to appreciate God for making me to see the end of the year. Like, today is the 31st of December 2022. So I'm just happy that God has brought me thus far. So today, I want to talk about how best to wrap up the year. You see, because today is the end of the year, it's just natural to start thinking about all that we have accomplished and what we would like to achieve in the future. So today, we will be talking about how to wrap up the year and set up our goals and ourselves for success in the new year. But first, let's start with reflection. You see, I want you to look back. It's important that you do that because when you look back and take a stock of what you've been able to achieve, right, you'll be able to look at it and also learn from it. This can actually help you to identify any areas that you need improvement and any area that you actually need to set goals for in the future. All right, so one of the ways by which you can reflect on this year is to make a list of all the achievements and challenges. What are you proud of? What did you struggle with? When you do this can help you to see where you've made progress and where you need to focus on your efforts in the future. So I sent out an email recently to my email list, and I was telling them that, see, even you reading this email to this point is an achievement. So I want to also tell you that even you listening to this podcast to this time is an achievement. Don't beat yourself too much. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at the things that you were not able to achieve and just ignore it. No, the purpose of looking back and reflecting is actually to be able to, find a way by which you can do the things that you didn't do better way. So another thing you can do is setting goals for the new year. So recently, what I did is that I not just goals, right? I set up what we call a vision board. And if you go back to some of our previous episode, you will be able to listen to our episode on vision boarding. Maybe we're going to also talk about it in the future, but beyond goal settings, it's important that you do a vision boarding. So basically, it's just like, taking a board. It might be virtual, it might be physical, right? Taking a board, putting the things that you desire to achieve and putting there so that it could be virtual and you could see it with your eyes. For example, let's say you want to buy a car in the nearest future. You can get the picture of that car, the exact car that you need or that you want, and then you put it on the vision board and you continue to see it. Somehow, your unconscious mind is going to program your conscious mind to continue to think about that car and to find a way to buy that car to eventually achieve that goal. So setting goals, it's important, right? And when you set goals, make sure that your goals are specific and measurable. Instead of setting a vague goal like, I want to lose weight, why not try setting a goal, a specific one, like, I want to lose 10 pounds by March. That can help you. You'll be able to track it. You'll be able to measure it. Because see, whatever you cannot measure, you cannot manage. This way, you can track your progress and know when you've achieved your goal. It's also important to make your goals achievable and realistic. Why it's important actually to push yourself. Setting unrealistic goals can lead only to frustration and disappointment. So please set a smart goal. Let it be specific, let it be measurable, and let it be attainable, and let it be realistic, and let it be time bound. So another thing that I will give it to you in order to wrap up the year in a better way is the one I love the most. Practice gratitude. Please take some time to think about the things you are grateful for and write them down. Like journal. I love journaling, right? It's one of the ways by which I was able to publish my first book, journaling, and the book became a bestseller on Amazon. This can help shift your focus from any negative experiences you might have had and remind you of the good things in your life. Finally, my friend, let's talk about creating a plan to achieve your goal, because it's not all about just setting a goal, just being grateful, but you have to set a plan, because he that does not plan has already planned to fail. So it's one thing to set goals, right? And it's another to actually achieve them. That's why it's important to create a plan for how you're going to achieve or reach your goals. Okay, this can actually just include breaking your goals down into smaller, more manageable tasks and setting deadline for yourself. So for instance, let's say that you want to make $1 million, right? $1 million, let's say you want to make it in a year. If you want to make $1 million in a year, it means that at least in a month, you should make, 12 quarter of that, right? So you see, you have to break it to say, how much do I need to make in a month? And more importantly, you can also look at it and say, how much do I need to make in a day, right? So for instance, now let's talk about that million, right? If you want to make $1 million in a year has how many months? 12 months. So it means that in a month, you must make at least $84,000 approximately, right? And approximately, if you divide that by 30, that means you must make at least $2,800 per day. Now, is this something that you'll be able to achieve? So that's why it is good that you set realistic goals, right? So if you're some kind of a person that hasn't already achieved $1 million in a year, you don't want to say, oh, maybe this goal is not something that is realistic. Let me start with $100,000 in a year. Then you look at it and say, okay, wow, $100,000 in a year. If I'm going to achieve $100,000 in a year, then how much do I need to achieve, in a month? That means you have to make at least 8,400 in a month. And if you divide that by 30, you will get $280 dollars in a day. Is that also realistic to you? So these are the ways to break down those goals. So if you look at it and say, oh, I'm not able to achieve this, then think about way by which you can just ensure that you make your goal smart. Don't be too ambitious. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, think big. It's good, but make sure that you are realistic, all right, so that you don't set yourself up for disappointment. So, to wrap up, my friend, because this is the last time you'll be hearing me this year. The next time you'll be hearing me will be next year in 2023, right? So as we approach this coming year, it's actually so important to take some time to reflect, right, on what we've been able to achieve and what we're not able to achieve, right? and see how we can become better. I hope that you gain something from today's episode, and I look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you so much, and have a lovely time. And I wish you a very bright new year. Thank you, and do have a lovely time over there. Bye.